offsides free play. I just went up, came back, attacked the ball, grabbed it, and then I just felt a bunch of space and used my offhand, got a couple stiff arms, just kept running. Anytime I get the ball in my hands, all I'm thinking about is north-south. How can I squeeze every amount of yard out of this play?
That's good.
Probably not that one.
No, that's fine. We'll get to him later.
Sounds
Pat Kreitlow, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Well, doing well, thank you.
All right. Strictly sleeping? How is he?
No, he was
Okay,
early
all
to
right.
class today.
I know. I'm the late one this time.
All right, about 10 seconds.
All right, here we go.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer on the board. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on this Wednesday, November 5, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day.
That's right. We made it to the middle of the week. Mr. Zommers, how the heck are you?
Doing well. It's pretty nice outside still.
It's
Not
beautiful
too cold
out.
yet.
Well, let's take a quick look at the old Sam Davidson street cam at the intersection of State and Fairchild in downtown Madison. Look at that. It is beautiful. Blue skies out there. Get out and enjoy that beautiful fall weather because the time is they are changing. Some snow, some light snow at least, across parts of Wisconsin this weekend in the forecast. So get out there and enjoy it today. Hump Day, we say. Hump Day, and was listening to our old friend Kristen Bry and her colleague Steve Scafidi this morning on their show because they use it as well. They use the Hump Day thing, and Steve's like, "We're the only place that does it." And Kristen,
That is not true.
And Kristen goes, "No," and he goes, "What? Other shows do it?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Who? Somebody I like?" And she goes, "Well, Todd Allbaugh. Todd uses it?" And she said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, he's a good guy. He's a good broadcaster." So,
Well,
I
there we
mean,
go.
wow, how nice was that for Scafidi to shout us out? He didn't have to do that.
We got
And-
the stamp of approval,
right?
I guess.
Yeah. So, all great shows use the Geico Camel. That's what I'm going to say.
Many people are saying that all great shows
Many
use the
people
Geico
are
Camel.
saying. Before we get into our regular midweek fare, I want to get this out there quickly. We might dive into it more. This is coming to us from WKBT television in La Crosse right now, the sister station of the CBS affiliate here in Madison. This is important if you have a kid who is in high school sports. The Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association, WIAA, is warning schools and student athletes about a fake Instagram account that is pretending to be the organization and trying to get personal information and payments. The fake account using the name at WIAA WI Sports has been contacting Wisconsin schools, photographers, and student athletes while sharing fake live stream and ticket links online, according to a Facebook post this morning. WIAA officials said the account is fake and not connected to the organization, and told the public to be careful when dealing with social media accounts that claim to represent the association. The association only has 4 official accounts. They are on Instagram at WIAAWI. On X, it's at WIAAWI and WIAAWI State. And on Facebook, it's simply Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association. So if you have a kid who plays Wisconsin sports, just make sure you give them the heads up. Make sure parents know across the state. There is a scam going around on Instagram. The at WIAAWI sports account is the fake one. We'll talk more on that later, but sad when you got to be worried about that kind of stuff. At 9 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock, he's never fake, always sincere, always real. You can catch him every morning from Lake Wissota across this network from 6 until 9. The host of the host of Mornings, Pat Kreitlow, almost had it. Pat Kreitlow, Patrick, how are you?
I'm sorry. I'm actually not real here today. Tom Brady had me cloned. And so the real me is hanging out with Tom Brady's cloned dog. But as a clone, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
But
Happy to be
how do
here.
you know it's
Happy to
the
be
real
here.
you with
Happy
the
to be
clone's dog?
50 grand, Pat? I don't know anybody's got 50 grand to clone a dog.
It's what I said. You know, he went through that divorce with Giselle, and divorced dads, they'll do almost anything to impress the kids. I don't know that bringing Fluffy back from the dead is the way to do it, but you got to
Speaking
try.
of people that might have 50 grand laying around to clone a dog, our next guest, Trygve Olsen, joins us from Washington, D.C., the senior advisor of the Lincoln Project. Now, you love your kids, love the dog, Trygve.
I have an issue to pick with you, Todd. Pat has
What's
a
that?
great show, and he doesn't use the camel.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
Judas Priest. All right. He does. He does have a good show.
Thank
Great
you.
show.
Right.
Great show.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
I don't
we
think
love
you
each
have
other.
to use the camel to have a great show. And no, I don't have 50 grand laying around to clone my dog.
If your girl said, "Are we going to clone Chloe?" Would you do it?
No, but if you said that we needed 50 grand to clone Pat, I might come up with an AI
Ooh,
version
there-
of him that could
There
clone
we
you.
go.
All
See,
right.
now
Wouldn't
that's
have
what
great hair like Pat has, but
Right.
I wish I could have told that to the clerk the other day. They asked me to run for governor. I said, "Oh, here, my clone can do that." You know, not me.
Wow, that'd be good.
we could
Speaking of
run
election,
AI Pat for governor.
Yeah.
Speaking of elections, at the bottom of this hour, we're going to be joined by State Senator Kelda Royce of the 26th District here in the Madison area. She is also a candidate for the governor of the state of Wisconsin in the Democratic primary. She's going to join us to give us her reflections of election results across the country last night and what it might mean in particular for Democrats, but those running for, office of governor in the state of Wisconsin. But right now, I want to turn to our guests, get their reaction last night. Of course, nothing really on the ballot statewide here, but big results last night. The night saw two kinds of Democrats win, hailing from opposite sides of the party. Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanbauer, both moderates, won the governorships in New Jersey and Virginia, while on the far left, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mondani prevailed in his race for New York mayor in the state's moderate ex-governor Andrew Cuomo, who ran as an independent, was beat out by Mondani. And of course, out in California, they saw the proposition to say yes pass overwhelmingly, which made it will allow the state legislators to redistrict throughout California, which is, of course, in reaction to what Republicans in Texas did to help Donald Trump. Pat Kreitlow, former state senator of the state of Wisconsin, thoughts?
I kind of feel like we're seeing a bit of a passing of the torch. You are seeing generations younger than mine that have watched the elders, if you will, and they're looking instead at somebody like Zoran Mamdani, who is actually not just talking about affordability, but actually seems to mean it, and they want to see results. They're tired of the politics as usual, and they're willing to try something different. California voters would normally not have said, well, let's change our maps, but they see what else is going on, and they want results, and they're willing to play a role in it. In Pennsylvania, voters saw that one billionaire was trying to unseat 5 progressive state Supreme Court justices, and they made that an issue. We're like, no, we're not going to let a billionaire buy our state Supreme Court. Look what just happened in Wisconsin, they were probably saying. And so I feel like there's this higher level of civic engagement born of wanting to see results and not wanting to see politics as usual. I will completely admit that can be an accusation of having rose-colored glasses, or in this case, blue-tinted glasses after the election. But I'm always encouraged when people look around them and say, no, this is not what we want, and they pick a new direction. And I'm very happy to see that many people got it. The last time a mayoral candidate got 1 million votes in New York City was 1969. So there is definitely something underfoot here.
Trygve Olsen, a former Republican like myself, now a senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, has worked on campaigns such as John McCain's and others nationally. You're out in D.C. What do you make of the results, Trygve?
Well, I'm not sure I take the same lessons as Pat. I think it was a good night for Democrats. In fact, in Virginia, it was a good old-fashioned thumping. Mm-hmm. I don't think the mayor's race in New York City, if you look at both the New Jersey governor's race and the Virginia governor's race, and Spanberger got 57%, which is I mean, unheard of. She was winning areas of the state that would be the Trempealeau counties, right? Or the Sauk counties. You had relatively centrist common sense. I would say it isn't even so much centrist. It was common sense women candidates of a certain generation who really demonstrated an ability to appeal in places where Democrats haven't appealed. You know, I mean, the Republicans are going to make the new mayor of New York the poster child for what the Democratic Party is.
Oh,
But
sure. Yeah.
what the
Another
Democratic
AOC.
Party, the lesson of the Democratic Party is don't run him for governor of Wisconsin. Run a common sense woman who's sort of left of center as your candidate for Wisconsin. Now, I can't think of one who that might be at the moment. Maybe one will show up later today on the show. But I think that was the lesson. And I mean, I can't tell you what a thumping it was in Virginia and to a pretty much an equal degree in New Jersey.
I mean, every single county in Virginia swung blue. And like you said, so
Correct.
many counties in Virginia are ruby red, except in Northern Virginia. It was, and then you look at Colorado. Voters approved 2 different ballot measures to make sure that all kids got free lunch, give raises to cafeteria workers, and let local farmers get grants to, have their products go to local schools. These are the kinds of practical things that people look at and go, this is what politics is supposed to be about, taking our tax dollars and using them resourcefully, not giving them to billionaires.
And to your point, Pat, I mean, it's just those financial issues, those livability issues, and Trigby, to something you've talked about on this show, both in New Jersey and in Virginia. Republicans tried to run the same trope of anti-trans ads against these 2 women in those. They lost spectacularly. Just didn't work, didn't take. Go ahead, quick.
But it's because they responded directly. I mean, both Spanberger and Sherrill went on and said, we're moms. Give me a break. Like, directly to camera responded, like Tammy Baldwin did, like Rosen did, like Gallego did, like Slotkin did.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising that Slotkin and Spanberger and Sherrill were all roommates when they were in Congress.
855-752-4842. Let's go quickly to the phone. Cindy in Appleton, listening on WISS in Oshkosh. Cindy, if you can make it quick, go ahead, please.
Yep, well, I said this on Jane's show this morning. I'm going to say it again. I hope that this blue wave does not go to the heads of the Democrats and they get cocky. Because in the state of Wisconsin, it doesn't seem like too many people have turned against Trump and the Republicans yet. So we still have our work cut out for us here in Wisconsin.
Cindy, thank you so very much. Pat, I share those concerns. Happy for those wins, but Mondami still has to deal with the legislature if he wants to get some of this stuff done, a governor who's up for re-election. It's not just one person that can do all this stuff, is it not?
I don't want Democrats to get cocky at all, but I do want them to know this was a day of reckoning for them as much as Republicans, that politics as usual is dead, and that you'd better be a little different, a little better plugged into the people that you want to serve, speak their language, get on their social media platforms and talk to them about what you're going to do for them, not the same old tropes about trans athletes and all of that. And then you at least get the chance to make your platform happen.
Trigby?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And listen, the truth is Democrats ran candidates who were in sync with the constituencies where they were up for election. And that's true of the judges in Pennsylvania. I wouldn't go so far as to say, I mean, he wasn't just recalling the 2 progressive judges that would be more progressive. He was trying to recall mainline straight Democrats, and it blew up spectacularly in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania might actually be a better bellwether of the entire thing, because if you look at the returns there, even in the red counties, people were like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also in Ohio, Vice President J.D. Vance's half-brother tried to knock off the Democratic incumbent mayor there in Cincinnati, or Cleveland or Cincinnati, I believe.
Cincinnati,
and
yeah.
lost spectacularly. It'll be interesting to see when all the returns come in, what happened there. It appears that many voters simply stayed home and sat on the couch. We'll come back and talk more with Pat Kreitlow and Trigby Olson on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
MDX news that thinks.
That was good, guys. That was good.
Helps to actually work up some notes ahead of time here. I really should do show prep more. I really should.
Well, I did a bunch of it. Zomer's going to test. I was here early. I had all kinds of prep, and then the whole thing went to hell, and we did the cameras went out, the internet went out. We had no show at all. So
that's all right. It's all right.
We were both here before 11.
Which goes to prove too much prep is a bad thing.
All right, I will take that lesson to heart as well.
Yeah. Okay,
Trig, when are you going to be back here next? When are you coming out again?
You know, I was supposed to be out in a couple of weeks, and it's not happening, unfortunately. But
yeah, same
I
here
don't
for
know.
Madison.
It's a little.
Are you not coming to Madison
hectic
soon?
because we have. I was supposed to. It's fallen through. So
yeah, same here. I'm working on it. All right, well, we'll just keep working on it. We'll keep our eyes.
I need to get back to River Falls, man. The football team is fantastic.
Yeah,
playing Oshkosh in the Division II.
I was going to say, and Whitewater had that big setback, as I love to keep teasing Parker about. So, you know.
No, I meant the high school football team.
Oh, okay.
Oh, River Falls college football team, I think, is really good too. But their high school football team has got a chance to go to state.
Oh, they're excellent.
They have some.
Look at Todd. He's his own lighting director over here. Look at this. He's gone so high. He was putting a spotlight in just so to put him to bathe him in the right hues.
We have a guest, Kelda Royce, who said she was going to be joining virtually, but I guess she must be here. Because,
she's done that before. Yes, I know.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, well, good for her. Well, in that case, Todd, yes, by all means. Yeah, if you got to sweep the floor a little bit, that's totally fine. So I thought it was just not going Hollywood.
I'll leave my microphone on and vacuum.
Oh, like what's
30,
her name?
30 seconds.
All right.
Like Carrie Lake did.
And Senator Royce is here, so.
Hey, Gary, that's great.
We just didn't know whether she was going to be here in person or on. I thought it was stream. It was great to have her in person, but I'm just trying to set things up quickly here.
10 seconds.
All right, thank you. Here we go. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is 22 now, past the hour of 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, November 5, 2025. Shout out to my comadre, my friend Florcy Kohler. Birthday today, the anniversary of her 49th birthday. We're celebrating tonight at Bar Coralini. So we had a choice either the 8:30 reservation or the 4:45. At our age, yes, we're going to the 4:45. So I'm going immediately after the show to that. Joining us as they do every Wednesday afternoon, the senior advisor to the Lincoln Project, Trygve Olsen, a former Republican like myself, joins us from outside of Washington D.C. and from the beautiful Lake Wissota studios. You can hear him every morning from 6 until 9 across this very network on Mornings of Pat Kreitlow. The 2010 Wisconsin Towns Association Legislator of the Year, Pat Kreitlow.
Oh, no. Where did I put that award? I put it someplace. I was showing off awards, Capital Awards. Yes,
yeah. Yes. That was fantastic. Because we've all, for either you, Pat, were a state senator, Trygve and I worked, and in my former boss, Dale Schultz, he used to have this huge, he was in office for 30 years, and we called it the I Love Myself wall. And it was all the Wisconsin corn growers, and look, they're great, nice awards, but
but when you're all done, you at some point you look at and see them in a box and you go, what am I supposed to do with these? So I'm in what I call my there's that management theory that's called touch it once. Like if you touch a piece of mail, deal with it and don't just put it in another pile. I'm in that now with the things downstairs in boxes. It's like touch it, look at it one last time, and then get rid of it. Otherwise, your kids are going to have to get the dumpster, and you should do it instead. So, with the Wisconsin Towns Association, the Builders Association, all the Corn Growers Association, I love every one of them. I cherish all my memories as a legislator. But the acrylic ear of corn just doesn't have a purpose in my current decor.
Your kids don't want to use that someday.
It's not in their decorating oeuvre, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
Talking about election results across the country, I want to go quickly because I do want to touch a little bit on this great article in Trigvy's Substack this week entitled Empowerment or Exploitation, the Real Battle Behind AI. But let's quickly go to the phone lines, 855-752-4842. Tom in McFarland, listening on WMDX here in Madison. Tom, if you could be brief, please go ahead.
Not a problem. I think that New York City is actually the outlier in terms of the bellwether, because with New York City, you had Eric Adams and that entire scandal. That made him, he was dead. But then you had Cuomo coming in, and he is just as tainted as Adams was. And how often do you often hear in elections it's a choice of lesser of two evils and how people do not like that? Well, I think in New York City, you had a very clear choice. You have your scandal-ridden, corrupt politician Cuomo, or your newcomer who has, for lack of a better term, the white knight. Yeah, he's going to win every single time.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Unique circumstances for sure. Quickly on that, Pat.
Yeah, no, that's a very fair comment to make. This was not by any means, it did not, when I say 1 million people voted for him, I do not mean 1 million people in New York have suddenly adopted the label Democratic Socialist. But they're also not running in fear of it, and they want to say, all right, guy, let's see what you got. We can always tune you out later.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Look, we promoted this, so I want to mention it. I think we'll definitely get more into this next week. But Trigvi, you wrote a great Substack this week, or last week, I thought, on AI. And you write in this quote, today AI is our generation's industrial revolution. Data is the new oil, algorithms are the new assembly line, and cognitive capital is the ability to shape how we think in the new monopoly. I thought this was a great analogy. Tell us a little bit how you came to write this article. Are you there, Trigby? He's there. He's working. He can do AI, but not his microphone.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Nope,
all right.
he's not.
Pat,
all right.
All right. He's still working on it. Pat, we've seen this explosion of data centers. I know it's a little bit different in Wisconsin, but this is a new world, and I think there's a lot of validity to what Trigby wrote, that how we manage this, the genie's out of the bottle, is going to be really important.
There was another parallel by somebody else who wrote, and I don't have it in front of me because I didn't prep for this, and it said there was one being planned for somewhere up on the North Shore, and said that the data centers are the new taconite plants. And as they learned the hard way, the taconite tailings that were dumped into Lake Superior and poisoned the water in the lake shore in part of that area for years and years just to grow some jobs because they didn't ask enough questions. And I will say, as the outlier, I'm not saying there can't be data centers, because we're going to need data. We're going to use AI for whatever purposes, probably just to learn how to play poker better, but I hope cure cancer. But just again, like the sand mines here, ask all the questions and don't believe all the hype. Get whatever you can up front in terms of promises and regulations, and try to benefit from a wave and don't let it own you.
Are you back?
I'm back.
All
Yeah,
right, go ahead.
It was like Pioneer at bar time. All of a sudden, Ula was calling me. Fishing in the Dark was playing on my headphones. I couldn't stop it. God,
about a minute left. About a minute, a little bit more left. Just quickly, Trigby.
Yeah, the point of the piece really was to get into. There's two ways that this goes. The business model of the internet period, which is tantamount to the Industrial Revolution, has entirely been based on people giving their data for free, and in return they get free stuff like Gmail or whatever. And AI is either going to go that way, in which you're going to have a few people who are enriched and a lot of people who aren't, or it's going to go the way where it actually creates tools that empowers human beings to get along better with each other and to do things that they have never done in the past, like cure cancer.
This is cool. People ought to go to Searching for Hope from Trigby Olson at Substack and read this stuff. Don't you think, Todd?
Thank you.
I think, thank you for the shout out, Pat. Yeah, I really do. And we'll get more into this next week. We have a special guest, so State Senator Keller Royce is going to be here next. So that's why we're putting this on the back burner. But we'll come back to this next week. Yes, check Trigby Olsen out at Substack and check Pat Kreitlow out on Mornings of Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network, and also powered by Up North News and the Courier Newsroom. Absolutely. Thanks, Pat. We appreciate you. Have a great day in Lake Wissota. Come on back, Trigby Eye, along with State Senator Kelda Royce on the other side.
Thanks for the shout out, Pat. Now I'm going to have to be more religious about writing, which is the reason I don't take the money that all these people keep wanting to throw at me to keep writing more often.
That's the thing. When you start this, man, you got to feed the beast. You got to feed
well,
the
it's
beast.
why, yeah, I mean.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to set up the camera. So thank you, Pat.
Yep.
You guys can talk. Thank you.
All right. See you. So where were, Aaron was asking about a Madison trip here. And yeah, I'd hope to get there, but we have a new senior producer and Parker, and
wasn't he also going to try and make it up here? I don't know.
Yes, we were, and yes, you'll actually do ask Frank about that. He's got a great story to tell, but it's his
you know
story.
what? I was sitting in the room for the last bit of the meeting with Luke, and you know what? I think I know what the story might be. That is funny.
The date conflict that came up?
Yes,
exactly. Okay, sounds good. Well, he's going to play with the cameras. So, she's going to get the headphones on here. I'm just
Senator Royce wants to say hello.
Sticking around long enough to say hello. So see if she's there. There she is.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Good to see you.
How are you?
There we go. All right. I'm going to let you guys get set up. Thanks, Kelda. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
All right. Thanks,
See you,
guys.
Pat.
See you, Pat.
You're going to have to adjust that camera, Todd.
He's working on it.
All right. That's better.
Do you have any song requests this time around?
What's a song that's just massive victory?
I'll find something.
Yeah.
Good
we were
Times by
talking about
Chic.
Yeah.
Good Times by Chic.
Nice.
We were talking about the results of Trigby and Pat earlier, and Trigby goes, "Yeah, the Democrats should run more well-qualified female candidates. Like I can't
Common
think of
sense,
one.
left
Common
of center
sense,
female
Moms
candidate.
who get done.
And
Yeah.
right. And he goes, I can't think of one, but maybe one will join us before the show is over.
Nice. See, I didn't get to hear that because I was right out there looking at my stupid email.
I know. I gave you a pretty good intro.
Thank you.
It was an interesting night. I'll tell you what, the Virginia numbers were a thumping because they were winning in places like Trempealeau, the Virginia equivalents of Trempealeau County.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Now, whether the right lesson will get taken from it or the wrong, that's another whole question.
Right. That's a question Dem primary voters need to be asking.
It is one that they need to be asking.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you even saw that here in the Attorney General's race, right? Like when I went in to vote, I'm like, I can't vote for that guy. No way. So I'm like,
Hey,
I'll just
Zombers,
leave it blank.
is there time?
Yeah.
Can you flip our names, the Chiron, so that
Yep.
it reflects who it is? I know normally that's what we would do, but just the way the camera is set, I think it makes more sense.
I
Thank
understand
you.
why you don't want to be mistaken for me.
No, I'd be honored. I'd be honored. But it might be some people people get
Yeah.
nitpicky online, you know.
No,
It's like,
believe me,
"Ooh."
I do know. lot
You
of
have the wrong
interesting
names.
comments
Oh, yeah.
on my socials.
I tell people don't read the comments.
No, I mean I rarely do, but
You want some water, by the way?
no, I'm good.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're going to like this. I had a fascinating conversation. I don't want to say who or where, give too much away, but I was back in Wisconsin because Ula was looking at the UW. And I got talking to somebody who actually had worked for Scott Walker on one of his campaigns, who's now working within broader state government. And we were talking about the governor's race, and the person mentioned you as, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah, that is
Didn't
fascinating.
like Tiffany very much, and was kind of.
I haven't met
unhappy.
a Republican who likes Tiffany, or a Democrat for that matter. But honestly, like, I mean, they don't think you can win,
They don't.
and they don't like him. Because he's not,
No.
you know.
Yeah.
It's not 100% retail politics, but like you got to have a little sauce.
Yeah, right.
Just gotta have a little, just a
That's a
little
good way to put
sprinkling.
it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know if he wins the drink a beer with them outside the paper factory in Wisconsin. Right?
Dump a beer on him.
About 15 seconds.
All right, here we go.
Not that I'm advocating for that. 'Cause
Right.
that's not how we should
Right.
treat beer
Careful.
or people.
Right.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes now past the hour at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, November 5, 2025. Mr. Aaron Zommers on the board. Could have been a DJ last night in either Virginia or New Jersey last night, Zommers, because people were partying like it was, I guess, wrong song, but 1999.
That they were, although I can't take the credit for that one because that was Trygve Olsen suggesting that we play that too.
And that would be partying like it's 1979, Todd.
Yeah.
1979
1979
birth
is the year it came out.
A great year.
Here at the desk joining us, we always love it when that happens, State Senator Kelda Royce from the 26th District here in Dane County. She also happens to be a candidate for the governor of the state of Wisconsin in the Democratic primary. She joins us here live, along with our ongoing contributor and friend, former Republican like myself, now a senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, joins us from the great state of Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C. Earlier in the show, we talked big night, of course, for Democrats last night. Kind of people hailing from opposite sides of the party. Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger, both moderates, won the governorships in New Jersey and Virginia. While on the further left, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani prevailed in his race for New York City mayor over the state's moderate ex-governor, Andrew Cuomo, who ran as an independent after Mamdani beat him in the primary. And of course, in California, voters said yes to Proposition 50, which will allow the state legislators to redistrict before the midterm elections. And here to discuss it more with us, once again, is State Senator Kelda Royce. Senator, thanks so much for taking time to be with us.
Happy to be with you on this great day.
Before we get into those election results, just give us an update. You've been traveling around the state. We appreciated it when you came on this show to help announce your race. How's it going so far as you campaign for governor?
It's been going great. I'm having a ball. I love traveling the state. I've done it throughout my whole career, but the conversations you get to have with people, it's just been a treat. I was up in Ladysmith at a bar, Trygve, you would like this, and they had, the back rooms were filled with Democrats, and I think I got every Democratic voter in that bar. And then I actually went to order a drink for myself and started chatting with the folks at the bar and, made some friends and I got some voters. And I don't think they expected that they were going to be talking to a Democratic candidate for governor, much less agreeing to vote for one, but that's how you do it, vote by vote.
Well, that's what you said, Trygve, right? You got to go where the people are.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: is that the vast majority of people, and this was true in the Virginia race, that they're looking for common sense more than anything else. And I was watching Spanberger, and the thing about Abby is, there was a time like with Christy Todd Whitman where she probably would have run as a Republican, given her background and everything else, and and her home is in the Democratic Party now, but she went to places and won in places that Democrats just don't win, and she pulled 15 state legislators with her. There is a hunger out there for authentic candidates who get things done.
Getting things done. I mean, that is, to me, that is the takeaway here: is people want our politicians not to talk a good game, but to actually get things done. And it's not really about ideology as much as it is about effectiveness, right? And so there's competence, there's experience, which, Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger have in spades. They are moms who get stuff done and they know how to do it. And I think voters rewarded that.
Talk to us a little bit about this, Senator Royce, a little bit more. To me, the mayoral race in New York was an outlier for several reasons. We had a caller, you had a former Democrat, which was really the opposition to the Democratic nominee. It wasn't the Republican. To me, and you're running for governor, and Trygve brought this up earlier, those two races in Virginia and New Jersey, what was fascinating as I watched the results come in is that constituencies, particularly the Hispanic wards and cities in New Jersey, but in somewhat Virginia, where they had moved away last year, a year ago, and voted more for Trump than Harris, those folks have now swung back, those voters. Our traditional constituencies in Wisconsin, as you look to your race, is there a correlation or no?
I mean, I think there is. If you look at the maps with all the little arrows showing the shift, what you see is that all demographic groups are shifting back. And that's because, to my prior point, Trump hasn't delivered, right? He promised one thing, and then he came in and did the exact opposite. He promised to help us with the high prices, and he came in and proceeded to line his own pockets at our expense and force Costco even higher with his chaos and his corruption and the tariffs. And I think voters said, well, that's not what we wanted. We better go back to the Democrats, who are at least, care about us and not just wealthy people and the billionaires.
As you look at your race for governor again, and we actually had a caller call in, Cindy from Appleton, when Pat was still on, and of course he's a former Democratic state senator here in Wisconsin, and this individual, she's identified herself as a Democrat before, Cindy, but she said, because I hope, to quote her, keep me honest, Trigby, I think she said, I hope Democrats in Wisconsin don't get cocky after this.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
that's what she said.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly right. What you see in all of these elections, and I'm talking about in Georgia, in Pennsylvania, where they retained, 3 Supreme Court justices, it's not ideology. Let's not learn the wrong lesson here. You got to run candidates that are of the places they want to represent, right? That have the experience and the profile to do the job that they're running for. And, Mamdani is an incredibly talented candidate, very inspiring. And I love watching his videos. I think he's got so much energy. But Wisconsin ain't New York City, right? Yeah. And he would not be the candidate to run for governor in Wisconsin. He might be a candidate to run for mayor of Madison, but I don't know, that's a very different context, right? And so it just matters to have the right candidates with the right message for the location where you are. It matters who you are and where you are.
But regarding Mamdani, and I want Senator, your take and then Trigby, yours on this. To me, set aside the very New York things of free bus service. I mean, those are, to me, localized issues.
Right.
To me, what impressed me and I think connected with his particular voters is, he spoke to the needs of that constituency at that moment. And also, he just ran a hell of a great campaign. His social media was great. He was out there amongst the people. He was a populist.
Absolutely. He was a populist, and he's likable, right? In every video you see, he's smiling, he's interacting with different people, he's listening. And these are kind of, our politics has become so divisive and so hectoring and yelling and fighting, and it wasn't fun. It's just like you have this feeling of dread when you think about politics. And, I don't think people want to feel that way, right? We want to feel joy. We want to feel hope. We want to feel like we're coming together for something good, for the common good. And I think, Mamdani brought that. But I give a lot of credit to Spanberger and Cheryl as well, because they built really strong, powerful campaigns that completely outperformed expectations, true to who those candidates are and who they are as leaders. And true to the states that they wanted to lead.
Trigby Olson.
Yeah, I mean, I think he hit the nail on the head. Ultimately, there is, candidates fit where they're trying to lead, and people usually know when someone's trying to be something they're not. I mean, that was one of Winston Earl Sears's problems. She was trying to be something that she wasn't. So to that degree, I don't know if he could be mayor of Madison at this point. But one of the things the right is making this case. We've never had a socialist mayor anywhere. Milwaukee had multiple socialist mayors.
Yeah, it's like let's open a history book there.
They're talking about. So there's that. But yeah, they ran campaigns that were true to themselves and that were about solving problems. And there is a real hunger for that. I mean, Todd and I have been talking about that a long time. It's, to me, it's less about the kinds of things you want to do and more about, do you really care about trying to bring people
right.
together to solve problems?
Right. I think one of the things that's frustrated so many people about Democrats, and I mean frustrated Dems about Dems, is the perception that we don't actually care about getting power or using power. Now, I think it really matters who's in office because it's life or death if you've got health insurance or not. If your kid goes to a good school or an underfunded school where the teachers are leaving, right? That matters to your life. And if Democrats believe that, then we shouldn't be afraid to use our power to make people's lives better. And at the end of the day, voters don't care what you say. They care about the results. And they want to reward political leaders who care about delivering results. And it's not that you have to win every fight, but you have to be willing to go to the mat. You have to be willing to take that fight and use your power and not just issue a press release and say, well, too bad we couldn't get this done, but this is what I think.
You're listening to the Todd Allbaugh Show across Civic Media. Our guest right now is State Senator Kelda Royce, Democrat here in the Madison area of the 26th District. She also is a candidate for the governor of the state of Wisconsin, now under a year away. How about that?
There you go.
Now less than a year. And also the senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, Trivy Olson, who joins us via StreamYard from his home in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. Zombers, I'm producing in real time here. I sent you a cut, yesterday of Derek Van Orton from Heartland Signal, where he was saying, if we don't do our part, we shouldn't get reelected. If we could look for that, because I want to play that for the audience and get Trigvy's and the senator's reaction to that if we have it. But in the meantime, first, Trigvy, to you, and then Senator, to you. Let's talk a little bit about what happened in California, this Prop 50 and redistricting. Trigvy, I'd like to have you talk about this from just a strategy standpoint, and Senator from a policy or a campaign standpoint. Look, what Newsom did out there in California is a result or a reaction to what Governor Abbott and Republicans and, quite frankly, Trump did in Texas. Is this going to continue on? And is that kind of, if we move now into 2026 election cycle, is this going to matter? Use your crystal ball, Trigvy, or is it really going to continue to be a referendum on Trump and Trumpism?
Well, there's a couple of things. I'm not a huge fan of the whole tit for tat, let's start redistricting. And it started in Texas, and I understand why in California, there on the Democratic side, there was this, a desire to respond in kind. That is the cycle towards it's not a good cycle to be in the middle of. That being said, the truth of the matter is when you start redistricting like that to add seats, you actually make some of the seats more marginal. And the reality is, Donald Trump's approval ratings at 37% in the last CNN poll, right? Like if he's sitting there and you have a result like you had last night, there is the potential that on the Republican side, they may be the dog that catches the bus, because they may end up inadvertently, the law of unintended consequences may lead them to actually exposing more of their seats, not less of their seats. So there's that. The key thing is, when people are saying, oh, the elections might be rigged or whatever, bottom line is, from my experiences around the world, you just got to go out and beat them. I mean...
Senator Royce, go ahead, Trigger.
No, I just realized, to that point, people aren't on. They're not liking what they're getting. I guess
maybe
my point.
Maybe a fair question to you, Senator Royce. You're in a Democratic primary. You got to win that first before you go to the general, obviously. But there's been a feeling among some Democrats. I'm either party, but independent. But some Democrats are really ticked off that Democrats aren't fighting more. Is what Newsom did in California, is that an indication of what your party, your primary voters want, this fight?
I mean, that's what I am hearing everywhere I go. And I think that's why I'm getting so much support as I go talk to people, because they want Democrats who are telling the truth about what the Trump regime is doing and are going to stand up and fight against the ways in which it's harming Wisconsin families. And that's what I'm going to do. It's a differentiator for me in this primary.
When we come back, going to play some audio. Zommers is the best in the business. He has found it. Derek Van Orton was shooting his mouth off not too long ago and said, if we don't get the job done, throw us out. Well,
will do, Derek.
A lot of people might say yes to that. We'll come back. We'll play it for you. Can't wait to play it for you. Trigvy Olson, State Senator Kelda Royce. Come on back. It's the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You should, so Abby's not the greatest debater, but you should watch how she handled the trans ad sort of stuff in the debate. She was really good with it.
Yeah, that is my plan.
It was like a master class in
Thank you. I will watch that. There are more billionaires in Trump's cabinet than there are trans athletes in the NCAA.
That's a great stat. I love that.
Yeah, isn't that
That
great?
actually,
I love that.
Yep, that's a really.
That's a great
And Bradley
stat.
Whitford had a more crude way of putting it.
We're streaming. We're streaming.
I know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm not, but he said the idea that there's dudes out there just chopping it off so that they can win the shot put at UW Platteville just ain't it. That's not happening.
No,
And
it's not.
yeah, after I stopped blushing, I wrote it down.
Now, come on, we had some pretty good shot putters at UW Platteville.
I'm saying, but if you
know.
want to win, place, or show,
I just think they tried to make such a big deal out of it, and my 14-year-old had a soccer match recently where there was there was a, I don't know if it was a kid who was transitioning or what, but it clearly was not, and all the girls knew that, and Kaya commented after the game. But like I said to her, until you've walked in that kid's shoes and you don't know what the deal is. So there was the piece of me that clearly it was not fair. He was bigger, faster, and stronger, or she, whatever. But at the same time, it was also clear that you don't know what the situation is, and there's something about we need to be kinder as a
Yeah.
society. And Spanberger made that point effectively.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, would I rather that my kids be the best at soccer, or would I rather that they be good, kind people that don't make other
Right.
people feel like they want to die?
Right.
Right.
I thought one of the best people that I've been trying to get him on this show. Dwayne Wade, former Marquette player, he has a kid who transitioned, and of all people, right? And he has really gotten out there. He and his wife, and was really really honest. And I didn't know what was going on when this happened, but as I listened to my kid, I learned.
That's
I'm like,
it.
what's better than that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I want all kids to thrive, and
30 seconds.
that's what matters more.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. We'll play this cut, get reaction, and then go wherever. I want to talk to you about that afterwards. See if you see
Oh,
more.
all right.
Yeah. Party time. Music time in Virginia and New Jersey. Also being played in the Speaker of the House's office out in Washington, D.C. People are starving. SNAP benefits cut off by Mike Johnson, Donald Trump. That's the way they like it. Welcome back to the Todd
That's
Allbaugh Show.
AKA Little Johnson, not Big Johnson.
Yes, that's exactly
Little
right.
Johnson.
Welcome back. He's a short man. That's what we say, a short man. Welcome back to the Todd
Little
Allbaugh
fella.
Show across the state of Wisconsin. That's the voice of Trygve Olson, Senior Advisor to the Lincoln Project. Check out his Substack. Great Substack this week on AI. We're going to talk about that more next week. I think it's really important in this state with data centers. Also joining us here at the table, State Senator Kelda Royce of the 26th Senate District here in Dane County. Also a candidate for governor of the state of Wisconsin. This came out from Heartland Signal Online, and I am told it is from the John Frederick Show. This is from almost a year ago, December of 2024. Incumbent for Congress on the western part of Wisconsin, Republican Derek Van Orton, DVO, had this to say about what will happen when Republicans took control.
When we have unified government, I'll be very clear about this. When we have unified government, if we cannot get our 12 appropriations bills through in a budget, then we don't deserve to be in the majority any longer. We don't. I don't sugarcoat anything. And I'll take the paint off anybody that is talking smack about these sorts of things. That includes members of my own party. So a lot of the reasons you got to understand that we didn't get a lot of things done was because of members of the Republican Party. Some of our far right guys held things up in the Rules Committee. They voted against rules if the rule passed, and they prevented a lot of these measures getting through. So that's true. The other side of the coin is anything we do has to get through the Senate, which was controlled by Chuck Schumer, and it still is until we get through January. So I'll say that again real clear. When we have unified government, if we can't get our 12 appropriations bills through and a budget passed, then we do not deserve to be in the majority, period.
Republican Derek Van Orton, Congressman of Western Wisconsin, on the John Frederick Show in December of 2024. State Senator Kelda Royce, candidate for governor. What do you think now?
Well, for once, I agree with Derek Van Orden. I think, he said it pretty clearly. Listen, if you're in the majority, you should be able to pass a budget. And there is one reason why the federal government has been shut down. It is Republicans. There is one reason why families are going hungry and worrying about where their next meal is going to come from, and that is Republicans in Washington.
Trivia talks about this all the time. I want your comments first, Senator, on this. To me, this just is a great and simple and easy to understand narrative for people like you running in the state of Wisconsin in 2026. Those guys said they'd fix it. We had farmers on this show from Richland County, beef farmers whose kids used Affordable Care Act for their health insurance and they said they'd fix all this, and they're not.
Well, not only they're not fixing it, they're making it way worse. I mean, that's the thing. It's not just that they didn't fix the toy. It's just they took everything else and they broke it. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse because they delayed the effects of a lot of the worst aspects of their budget till after the midterms. How cynical. They knew what was going to hurt you and your family. Forced rural hospitals to close. Keep kids from getting the medical care, the food, the education that they need. And they decided, let's wait until we can get reelection so we don't lose the Congress in the midterms.
Trigby?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say this. The other piece of it is I have always believed that the best solutions are at the local level and the state level, not the federal level. And if you think about things like the University of Wisconsin, whether it's my home where I went to school at Eau Claire or Platteville where you went, or the University of Wisconsin, right? You now have the federal government, which they were always against, saying, you can do this, you can't do that. And you've got state Republicans going along with it. Why are they not standing for what they've claimed for years, states' rights? They claim, as Derek Van Oddwan does in that, if we control everything, we're going to get appropriations bills. He hasn't done anything to get appropriations bills, and I haven't heard him calling on Mike Johnson to put the Congress back in session. So, what's the rub?
They're not even trying. They're not even trying. They won't even go to work. I mean, they won't seat Adelita Grijalva 6 weeks after the election. He's terrified. Johnson is terrified of his members actually being in Washington and going to work.
Yeah.
Are they being paid, by the way?
Oh, they are. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they are.
Although Brian Stile, I think, introduced a bill, and Tony Weed, and Glenn Grothman came out of his den and signed on to it to say, don't pay us.
We like Glenn, though, because Glenn had the courage to come on with us, Todd.
That's true. He did at least sit
he
down.
Likes us.
Brian Stile just kept walking past. He didn't walk by. Senator Royce, a couple of minutes left here. I want to give you the floor. I love the campaign for governor here, and I love you sitting down and talking to real people. Just tell us a little bit more. What have you learned so far, and what do you intend to do in these months ahead running for the governor of the state of Wisconsin?
Well, I think the most important thing I can do is continue traveling around the state and listening to people and reflecting the concerns that they share with me into my priorities as governor. We see very clearly that Wisconsin is a place where families are struggling to make ends meet. Young people are having a hard time envisioning a future life here where they're thriving. And that is our fault. We need to do so much more to make Wisconsin a place where people can afford to live, not just to get by, but to build a life where they have the freedom to live the life they want. And that means investing in healthcare. It means opening up the state health insurance and the state pension system that public employees have that are so great to every individual, every business, right? As a small business owner myself, that could be transformational for our state. We got to raise wages for people. It is not fair that we've got, half of the state that is making less than a living wage for full-time work. That is not sustainable. And we've got to invest in our public education system. These are the things that I'm hearing from people. And last night I was meeting with a group of students on a UW campus, and I actually met with a young woman from Medford. So small world. That's my hometown, Medford in Taylor County. She was like, "You probably never heard of it." And I was like, "Oh, I have." And we're just talking about, can she build a future here? I want young women like her to be able to make their future in Wisconsin.
Kelda Roy, state senator, hopes to be your governor next. Good luck at the campaign trail, Senator, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely.
Trigby Olson from D.C., always a pleasure, my friend. Go Pack Go. I told Trigby we need new Packer owners. He said, what about a new kicker?
It's true.
Thanks, Trigby. Appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, I got to get on this other call. That was a great answer, by the way. Phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
When you're headed up towards River Falls, shoot me. Do you have my number? If you don't, Todd will give it to you. Shoot me a text when you're headed that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Trigby. All right.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.
All right.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Can you cut our mic?
CCTV security coverage, which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll.
Investigators say they've also recovered the plane's black boxes as they start the probe into the cause. The economy and government shutdown, top concerns for voters. In yesterday's elections, Democrats won governor races in New Jersey and Virginia, and Democrat Zohran Mamdani becomes the first Muslim and South Asian elected as New York City's mayor. In Minnesota, moderate Democratic Mayor Jacob Frey re-elected in Minneapolis for a third term, defeating a Democratic socialist in the final round of ranked choice voting. This is ABC News.
From the Madison Common Council to the state capitol, stay informed with Civic Media's radio network news team right here on WMDX and on the Civic Media app. For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Wisconsin's Education Department has a new database where anyone can look up teachers whose licenses were surrendered or revoked. This all started with a story from the Cap Times. They found that over a 5-year period, there were 200 investigations into teacher misconduct, leading to revoked or surrendered licenses that did not show up in the existing database from the Department of Public Instruction. A couple weeks ago, there was a hearing in the Assembly Committee on Government Operations, Accountability, and Transparency. State Superintendent Jill Underly was out of the state and did not attend. But the Senate Committee on Education had their own hearing Tuesday, and this time, Underly was there.
Student safety is not political. It's a moral responsibility that we all share. And as both your state superintendent and as a mom, that responsibility guides everything that I do. And that's why in recent weeks, it's been deeply disappointing to see attempts to turn this serious issue into yet another partisan political sideshow.
When asked whether the DPI has enough resources to properly investigate claims of educator misconduct, Underly says what they really need is subpoena power, or the ability to compel people to do interviews.
Today, the DPI lacks subpoena power during investigations, meaning we rely on voluntary cooperation of witnesses, district officials, and others to gather critical information.
During the hearing Tuesday, Underly laid out some ways the legislature could help, including by passing a law that defines grooming. A handful of other states have done the same, and now 2 Republicans have authored a bill to do just that. She also asked that lawmakers close the loophole for private school teachers. They do not need licenses to teach in Wisconsin, and therefore can't be investigated by the DPI either. Underly also announced the DPI is launching a new database that shows teachers who have surrendered their licenses or had them revoked. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
Roster moves for the Pack. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. NFL, the Packers have promoted tight end Josh Wiley from the practice squad to the roster. Wiley, a 5th-round pick for the Titans out of Cincinnati when Luke Fickell was head coach there. Tucker Kraft placed on IR awaiting surgery for a torn ACL. NBA, the Bucks losing in Toronto last night, 128-100. They host the Bulls on Friday. College basketball, it's the Badgers in Northern Illinois Friday at the Kohl Center. Nolan Winter talked about making the switch to center for Wisconsin.
For me, I think it's more of a mentality than anything it is physically or anything like that. You know, when I have that aggressive mentality of just attacking every ball, going to get everyone that I can, you know, this offseason, that was a big thing for me, knowing that going into this season, that's going to be a big part of my game is rebounding and limiting them to one shot. So for me to go out there and, you know, execute a little bit, you know, I got to continue to do that for this team. But yeah, I mean, it's more of a mentality thing, like I said.
That's Badgers center Nolan Winter with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
From the Capitol to your kitchen table, Madison's biggest stories live right here on 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Our skies turning sunny as we head into your Wednesday afternoon. Northwest winds to 30, highs in the mid-50s. Overnight clear skies, lower 30s expected. Our winds will become light. More clouds on the way Thursday, breezy in mid-50s with rain Thursday night. It's 57 at our studios.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Frito-Lays suck.
Fritos? The actual Fritos?
Yeah, the corn ones, you know.
How do you not
They're
like
too
Fritos?
salty.
They're salty, but they're corn. They're like the most, they're the healthiest chip you can have. They're health food.
Any chips are not great, but those ones to me just taste like salt. I can have one and I'll be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, but what chip doesn't taste like salt?
Well, I mean, that one's just straight salt, you know?
It's delicious.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Maggie Dawn.
At 4:30, we've got a special edition of Broad Appeal. I told you.
About 15 seconds.
Thank you.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh on along Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, as I belch up coffee there from the break. Apologies for that. It is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day.
Whoa, a spicy camel Zommers.
Look, you know, sometimes you got to shake it up every once in a while.
That's
I had
fantastic.
that whip sound effect for something else, but we can't really use it for that anymore. So
the winds are whipping, as it turns out. A little windy today for Hump Day. Glad to have you along here. Hour number 2 of the big broadcast from Civic Media World Headquarters, downtown Madison, and the intersection of State and Fairchild. Again, big shout out to mi comadre. It's a lovely word, comadre. Or compadres. And it is a singular word in Spanish for which there is no singular translation to English. It means, literally translated, the mother of my godsons. Or you say compadres, you call each other compadres because you are the god. I'm the godfather of Florcy and Kurt's 2 sons, Alex and Jason, and I'm proud to be so. And so when you see each other, oh, comadre, oh, compadre. But in English, it's so much more awkward or bulky because you say, oh, this is the mother of my godson. Or you
hello,
could just
good
say,
to see you, mother of my godson.
Right. It doesn't have the same ring, you understand?
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
But today, November 5, 2025, it is the anniversary. The anniversary of Florcy's 49th birthday, which we get together and celebrate.
Wait, so the anniversary of the 49th birthday.
Don't go
All right.
down that rabbit hole.
Never mind, I didn't say anything.
Yes, it's the anniversary of her 49th birthday. And so her lovely husband, Kurt, and Florence were going to dinner tonight to celebrate. And so Kurt looked up, we're going to a Bar Corallini, by the way.
I have not been.
Great place over the Atwood Avenue neighborhood. Great Italian place. Authentic. So Bar Corallini tonight. And the reservations, they had 2 availabilities, 8:30 and 4:45.
And so you took the authentic Italian and like European route and went for the like 8:30 one, right?
We did not. No, we said we'll take the 4:45 if there's a senior discount. So I did not eat any. Usually I have like my Wonder State coffee, and then I will have a baked good or some sort of sugar to get me going right before the show. I skipped the sugar. Well, I guess I had a donut earlier because, by the way, it's National Donut Day. We'll talk about that later. And so I'm trying to save room for a great meal tonight with Kurt and Florcy. So happy birthday, Florcy. great to celebrate her.
Happy
Great
birthday.
person. Yeah, absolutely. But thank you very much, Pat Kreitlow and Trygve Olsen and State Senator Kelda Royce for being our guests in hour number 1. I love those kind of hours, Zommers, because it means I talk less and our listeners get to hear our great guests, which I love.
It's also great to hear, having like Pat and Trygve on every week. They sometimes meet and have the same perspective, but a lot of the times they are different.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to hear all the different takes.
Absolutely. If you all agree on everything all the time, life's boring, right? Better to mix it up a little bit. So that was a lot of fun. We appreciate all of them. And you look for everybody running for governor. I don't care which side of the aisle or who you are. This is a big job. And I think last night, these governor races that came to an end, you could see it other faces, other family faces. It's a major thing. I mean, I ran for assembly twice and lost in 2 Republican primaries because I was too moderate. But that was just for state assembly. When you're running for a statewide office, especially in these times, the amount of work you have to undertake and the stress, I mean, it's a big deal. So hats off to everybody running for a statewide office right now, and also just running for your local school board or whatever. Our democracy works best when people participate.
And people who are going out and talking and, more importantly, listening to their communities at any level, governor to school board, anywhere in between, you're doing very important work right now to, undo some of the division.
Absolutely. Later on this hour, we're going to touch a little bit more on Trygve's Substack article this week on AI. I think it's really important. I would encourage you to check that out. Also going to do a little what's worse for you, but right now at 11 past the hour of 3 o'clock, time once again for a Wisconsin fun fact. Here we go.
Oh, Wisconsin, land of beauty, with your hillsides and your plains.
That's right. Time for the Wisconsin fun fact. On November 5th, 1862, the 10th Wisconsin Light Artillery fought in an engagement at Nashville, Tennessee during the Civil War. Many Nashville music executives survived the battle, and their legacy continues to this day as cities continue to churn out bland drivel and somehow passes for country music. There you go, to the Wisconsin fun fact. Go ahead.
So, I mean, I guess what we learned is that music executives are an immortal evil that has persisted through centuries.
I don't know all of them.
Well, yeah,
but some, yeah, for centuries. Yeah, there were people, hitherto unknown fact, as Ken Lewis is fond of saying, people don't know there were music executives at the Civil War.
I did not know that.
Well, I don't think I did too until just that very moment. By the way, here's something. This is on the serious side. First, as you all know, or most of you regular listeners to the show know, I'm a big Kenny Chesney fan. Kenny Chesney fan. And he is not drivel, by the way. His songs are fantastic. He has a new book coming out right now and making tours. And I've tried to get him on this show. We haven't had any success yet, but wouldn't that be something? And so anyway, he was on CBS this morning, or they call it CBS Mornings now. Did a great job. He has a new book out and kind of autobiographical. Looking forward to reading that. But they also had this artist. We're going to talk a little bit more about it here in a bit. She calls herself an artist. She's the creator behind the AR artist. Is it Zania Monet? Is that how you pronounce it? Her real name is Nikki Jones, and she spoke with Gayle King this morning in what I thought was a really great interview. Now, she's the person, this Zania Monet, and she has generated this online, or the artist, the AI, this is how confusing it is. The AI artist name is Zania Monet. The real person, Nikki Jones, she writes poems, and she writes the poems, and that's great. The lyrics, if you will. And then she uses this AI thing called, is it Sonos or Sono?
Suno, yeah.
Suno. And she loads this into Suno, and Suno creates the voice, because the human being, this Nikki Jones, she cannot sing, or at least not to a performance level. And so Sonos creates the voice and the instrumentation and everything else. And now there's a song out on the Billboard charts that's like going up the charts. So there's this big debate right now in the music world, in the AI world. Should this human being, Nikki Jones, should her AI creation voice artist be out there getting, hits on Billboard when there are real human beings who have worked their butts off to be singers in Nashville and other places who they're out of work because this AI thing is doing it?
That is a complicated question.
I know
I
it
don't
is.
know.
And Gayle King did I've beat up on CBS lately, the Nora
The
O'Donnell.
management,
The management. But there are still a lot of great reporters. And I thought Gayle King asked some really great questions because this real person, the human being in this story, I believe it's Talisha Nikki Jones, happens to be black. Gayle King is black. And she asked a pointed question. And she said Gayle King did to Nikki Jones, and she said, what is your thought? There are other black female human being singers out there that you're taking a job away from. And she said, how would you feel? Gayle King asked this. Gayle King said, how would you feel if it was a white man or a white woman writing the lyrics and then creating a black artist? And Nikki Jones just sat there, and Gayle King said, mm-hmm.
That is exactly the kind of tough question that we need to ask in these situations.
That's a really great, fair question.
And she's the right person to ask it.
100%. She was the exact right person to ask it. And so this is going to be a debate going. And look, the program that comes on before ours, Tom Hartman, they use this crap all the time. That where they write a poem or lyrics and then they put it into the Sonos and it creates this weird music that sounds like country or sounds like church music, and it's all stuff making fun of Trump or whatever, which fine, but it's just all AI.
And they also sell those songs.
And they sell those songs. And again, for a Democratic leading show like Hartman, who professes to be for the worker, think of how many artists, musicians, singers that he's denying a living wage to because he's using Sonos.
Yeah, my personal thoughts on this is if you are a poet and you want to use AI to conceptualize what those poems might be like as songs, go for it. But I think using them on the Billboard charts, especially the dubious sources of data that these tools have, it just doesn't sit right with me.
No,
I use it as an official release.
I don't like it at all. Our own Chris Casper, one of our fine engineers. Many thanks to Casper and our great engineering team yesterday. For those who were with us, it was a TFD, a total freaking disaster. Because apparently now we still don't know what happened, but I've been told by people on the 12th floor that they're blaming it on a worker over on John Nolan Drive, not far from where I live, that during road construction, a fiber optic cable was cut. We don't know. Which affect. And so our fine team here was able to stitch things together and keep us on the air, and we really appreciate that. So big shout out to Casper and the entire Drew and the entire engineering team. We appreciate you so very much. Casper says they could make an AI category for award shows. Now this is good. He says the only two things that can be copywritten are lyrics and melody. All right.
He would know because he masters a lot of music.
Yeah. So maybe that's fair, is that you have a special category for AI-generated music. Somebody else in the know, our own Terry Barr, who is co-host of Max Inc. Radio every Saturday night on WMDX here in Madison. You can also listen to it on the Civic Media app. Terry says, I know so many musicians who are not happy about this, right?
And she knows a lot of musicians.
Yeah. Absolutely. Brett in Brown Deer, listening on WAUK, says Tom Hartman's wife makes those songs and they don't charge for them.
Yeah, well, I'll look into that during the break. I feel like I remember him saying on the show that they're available for purchase, but I may be misremembering. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out.
But yeah, she writes, just like this artist in the CBS story, she writes the words, but they're not playing all those instruments. They're not singing that. So it's sure, she writes the words, but you're putting musicians and singing artists, maybe not out of work, but you're not giving them the opportunity to be paid a union wage. Come on back. We'll talk more about this. Also, what's worse straight ahead is the Allbaugh Show for a Wednesday on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Points. WMDX.
Get ready, Madison. Elsa's Own Jarocho is now open on Plaza Drive. 5-star authentic Mexican cuisine, fresh, homemade, and the best prices in town. See why
I definitely remember them saying.
I've ever had in my life.
I thought
Elsa's Own
maybe when they
Jarocho.
used
You
it like
won't
as a
be hungry.
fundraiser for the election.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. On
destination now as a brand new
the
location
Hartman
in
report.
Sun Prairie. Wait, 4 locations. That's a
Well,
high
the
level of
preview said
convenience.
something.
With 3 Madison locations and now Sun Prairie, a great cannabis experience is
Couple of
always close by.
calls
Our
as well.
expert staff is here to help. Whether you walk in, call, or order
I'll
online.
check those. I guess I haven't had enough time to look into this.
And get a special discount.
We'll see.
So stop by Herbal
'Cause you-
Aspect in Sun Prairie because great cannabis isn't
What was
just
that?
a pipe dream.
You made the comment about him charging, right?
I did, because I thought I remembered
that's
hearing
fine.
you say
Gotta
that.
admit, these hearing aids from Madison Hearing Aid Center changed my life.
Mine too, John. I thought I needed subtitles to talk to my grandkids.
And these aren't those old giant clunkers we saw in the old days. It's got Bluetooth, it's rechargeable, the works.
Yeah, my phone connects straight to my ears. I'm basically a cyborg now.
Well, you just figured out texting last year, too.
Yeah, baby steps. But I did call Madison Hearing Aid Center, and you should too. 608-249-4077.
608-249-4077. Tell them John and Gordy sent you.
At Allure Intimate Apparel, bra fittings are everything. Not only how they make you look, but how they make you feel. From bras and sleepwear to swim and lingerie, Allure has it all. Their professionally trained bra fit specialists deliver a discreet, graceful experience that honors every figure. Allure encourages confidence, making elegance feel effortless. Shop Allure in the Hilldale Shopping Center in Madison, where you will discover how fit and confidence go hand in hand. Visit allurefits.com. That's allurefits.com.
What is a commercial? It's a message delivered to the people, in this instance through your radio speakers, into your ears. Why, it's like a movie for your brain. This radio commercial is directed to the business community. If you want to reach more customers, you should be using WMDX Radio. It's that simple. Just email sales@WMDXradio.com and let our crack sales team show you
All right,
how to
about
make your
15
business
seconds.
grow.
They both
Gracias.
wanted to talk about the AI music.
Cool. All right.
Chris said specifically as a comparison to when drum machines were first becoming a thing.
All right,
which
very
is a
good.
good comparison.
Yeah.
There are differences, but yeah. All right, here we go.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 22 now, past the hour of 3 o'clock on this Wednesday, November 5, 2025. Zomer's on the board. Glad to have you along talking about the CBS News interview this morning on CBS Mornings. Gayle King, longtime host, interviewed the human behind the AI artist, if that makes sense. So the human's name is Talisha Nikki Jones. And the artificial intelligence person that she created is named Zanya Monet. And she has a hit, a song, that is climbing the Billboard charts. And the question is, should AI-generated music, even though this human being, Talisha Jones, wrote the words, the lyrics, should the song, which other than the words, everything else is computer generated, should that be in a competition for a Grammy? Or should it be a competition for a Billboard award? What's the role of AI here? And also make sure that we get things straight here. Earlier in the last segment, I brought up the fact that Tom Hartman, who precedes us, he has these AI-generated songs. His wife, yes, writes the lyrics, just like this artist here, or this person. But everything else is generated. The music, the the vocals are all done by a computer. Sonos is the software program. Zommers made the comment that Hartman then sells them online, and Zommers, I think we were corrected by Marion Mount Horeb and a couple other people as well, that Hartman does not actually sell them for
Right.
a profit.
I'm mistakenly, I thought I had heard him say they're available for purchase online, but I must have misheard.
Maybe he did something during the campaign to raise money.
Right. It might, yeah.
As a fundraiser, but yes.
But no, they normally have their daily song.
Yes, the listeners are correct. The daily song is free, so thank you for that correction and keeping us honest. But the fact remains that Tom Hartman's not employing musicians and vocalists to do these songs every day. He and his wife write the words, and the computer does the rest. 855-752-4842. Let's go out to Southwest Wisconsin, the home of WRCE in Richland Center, Wisconsin. Chris in Blue River, who also happens to be the host of Saturdays with Simo on WRCO and a longtime band director in the area. Chris, you're the perfect person. What say you on this AI-generated music?
Boy, it's interesting. My mind immediately went to late 70s, early 80s, when drum machines became a thing. And they were used in live performances in the United States and sometimes in studios for performances. I recall, if I recall correctly, there was a lawsuit by the Musicians Union in the United Kingdom to ban those. To ban the use of drum machines in those instances, so that union musicians were not losing their jobs as a result of these things. So that's the first thing that came to mind with me.
I appreciate you bringing that history, because I kind of forgotten. But as a former bad drummer myself, I didn't even use like the pads. I always used like a real set. Whatever
and I play drums. I also have a drum machine. They're different tools, and I feel like similar to that, we need to figure out where AI fits in music as a tool, and not just slam it on everything. Like this, like this person appears to be doing.
Chris, I want to ask your opinion on this, because you and I and our colleague Phil Nee at WRCO and some other people, great people, were out in Richland Center at Oak Ridge Books last week, because our former colleague Ray Schrader, who passed away in the ripe ages of 90, his family brought a lot of Ray's vinyl that he used on his show. Great big band hits and things, and people could make a donation for a memorial to Ray in the city. What's your thought? Because I immediately went home and put some of those records on my turntable and sat down and had a beverage. And it was, in this day and age of devices and screens, it was enormously relaxing. And don't we need more actual, I don't know what the word is, just non-digital things in our life?
I agree completely. I walked out with an armload of things, of Ray's, and as I've been recording my shows, I have been incorporating those in my playlists. I've been adding, here's something Ray played that'll fit in really nicely. As you said, there's such a warmth to vinyl that is just lost on digital recordings. And I'm pleased to say our daughter and her husband bought a turntable about 4 or 5 years ago and have begun purchasing vinyl to play, because they have, that appreciation for the sound.
Yeah, that's great. And that's fantastic. And I just think those things are coming back in vogue. Chris, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for listening. I encourage everybody to join Chris on Saturday afternoons on WRCO. If you're not in the Southwest, tune him in on the Civic Media app, and then go down to WRCO on Saturday afternoons. 855-752-4842. Matt in Middleton, listening on WMDX here in Madison. Matt, what say you? About a minute left.
Yeah, as an artist, I could talk about this for hours, but I'll just say that the main problem with the digital economy is just the surplus of material out there, and AI just makes it easier to generate a whole lot more material. So the value of every particular thing is going to plummet because there's just so much stuff. So as long as we have it identified as AI, and that's a mark on it, and there's a separate category for it, and people know it's AI, I think we'll be okay, because like your earlier caller said, people do want the human element, you know?
That's a great suggestion, Matt. Appreciate listenership. Having a mark like that, a watermark or whatever, but digitally, I guess.
I agree, yeah.
Somehow that's a great idea, Matt. Thank you very much for listening to us here in Madison on WMDX. We'll come back, take a few more phone calls, your comments. So what do you think of these AI quote-unquote artists? Are they taking jobs away from real humans and unionized musicians? All that and more. Also a little what's worse. But first, some Pam news. Some farm news from Pam Yonke and the Midwest Farm Report on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Democracy deserves a little airtime. WMDX.
Real news, great conversation right to your inbox. Subscribe to the WMDX newsletter and never miss the stories right here in Madison. WMDXradio.com.
So this is fun when you get off on a tangent you didn't think you were going to get off on.
Yesterday that they will revise proposed fee increases on the state's livestock marketing system. I'm Stephanie Hoff for the Midwest Farm Report. Along with you on a Wednesday, Dan Richter, Public Information Officer with DATCAP, has the details.
During the public comment period for the rule revisions for ATCP 10 and 12, DATCAP received hundreds of public comments, and we're taking those to heart, going through each comment, and based on the feedback we received, are now making modifications to those proposed administrative rules, and we will present those modifications at an upcoming DATCAP board meeting.
Dan Richter with DATCAP says one of the most common messages from the public was to lower the original proposed fee increases. You can learn more at MidwestFarmReport.com. We'll take a look at closing markets after this.
Hello, Farm First Dairy Cooperative members. Jeff Ditzenberger here, the Communications Director at Farm First. And one of the most important aspects of being a Farm First member is to make policy that keeps your dairy business viable. You are cordially invited to attend one of our 2025 district meetings and luncheons. Join us to learn what your cooperative has accomplished and to discuss policy and elect delegates to represent you. To find out more information and how to register, please go to our website at farmfirstdairycooperative.com. We'll see you soon.
Dairy pumps that were designed more than 50 years ago do not meet today's large dairy farm requirements. Bopeller pumps by McFinn Technologies were born and patented this century with a unique and innovative design that ensures gentle, low-shear pumping along with efficient, high capacity and long seal life. Bopeller pumps for all your applications will ensure your dairy
I think this is a very interesting topic.
21st century technology.
The AI music?
Bopeller
I do too.
People obviously do as well.
I could talk about that for a long time too.
Closed higher on a Wednesday. From Chicago, December new crop corn closed
I
up
think it's
3
taking.
3/4 cents
I guess
at
I'm the old man,
4.35
but I
Cash
just think it's
soybeans
taking
up
away
12 3/4
legitimate
cents
work
at
from people that have worked their
11.34
entire
November
lives.
2026
I think so too, but I also think it's not going away. So I think we have to, as Matt said,
Cash
be
wheat
able
up
to label it
4.5 cents at
and find a
5.54
place for it.
I thought that was a really good
July
idea.
2026
Matt and
new crop
Casper.
wheat also
I mean,
at 4.5 cents,
label it,
closing
have
at
its own
5.85
category,
a bushel.
but you shouldn't be
Taking a
competing
look at
against
fluid milk contracts,
human beings.
Those are
in my
also
opinion.
trading higher. The December Class 3 milk contract is up 18 cents at 17.06 a hundredweight.
I'm going to play a song that famously features a drum machine. I have a few options.
All right.
Last Christmas by Wham uses the wind drum.
Really? All right.
The 40-pound block closing at $1.64.
And I know it's way too soon for that,
but that's kind
should
of
we
funny.
do that and make a joke out of it?
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. For the Midwest Farm Report on a Wednesday, I'm Stephanie Hoff.
Don't miss the stories that impact your life. Catch the WMDX News Roundup in podcast form. Go to WMDXradio.com to subscribe.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Our skies turning sunny as we head into your Wednesday afternoon. Northwest winds to 30, highs in the mid-50s. Overnight clear skies, lower 30s expected. Our winds will become light. More clouds on the way Thursday, breezy in mid-50s with rain Thursday night. It's 57 at our studios.
I do love a good drum machine.
I don't. See?
Driver,
I really don't.
As a NASCAR Cup
They're different. I mean, they're 4 different things.
discounts our Ford Mustang.
What can a drum machine do that a real human being can't?
It can be incredibly fast, like faster than humanly possible.
What do you need then?
for some genres. They're not necessarily my favorite, but they do exist. There are just a lot of sounds you can't make with real drums. Like, I love synthesizers. You know, you got synthesized drum sounds.
Hey there,
now
Tom Hartman here.
you can put it on a trigger and like hit a pad and play it. So
Right.
there are options. It's also just fun to play around with the sequencer and all that. I don't know. All right, about 25 seconds.
Thank you. Good heavens.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day,
I said no Christmas music until after Thanksgiving.
Well,
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Zommer's normally right on top of it. My friend, it's too early for Christmas.
It is, but there's a specific reason I played that.
Give it to me.
So it famously uses the Lindrum, a drum machine made in the 80s that has a very unique sound from others in its time. And, you know, I just think it's important to compare AI to that to say, you know what, this is a tool. It's not going away. We just need to find where it can be used.
In case you're just joining us, yes, nice job, Zommers. We're talking about this topic. And by the way, these are my favorite kind of shows. Things that just come up and we run with it, and there was little preparation for it. Because oftentimes those are the best types of segments and shows because we just pick up on what you, the friendly listener, want to talk about, and we've hit on something here, and I think this is great to spur discussion. And it's a big topic, as Zommers, you've said, it's not going anywhere. It's artificial intelligence. It's AI. And it comes from this story this morning on CBS Mornings. Gayle King had a great interview with a real-life human being. And you say, Todd, why do you have to say? Well, you'll find out. Talisha, she goes by Nikki Jones, is the real-life human. And she has written lyrics via poems that she wrote. But she used a software program called Sonos. And she put the lyrics in there, and then she can choose what kind of a voice that she wants. She happens to be a black woman, and so she chose a black female voice. And then she chooses the type of, rhythm or whatever. And but the computer does all the vocals. The computer does all of the musical things on there. And the AI artist that she created, she named it Zanya Monet. And in this article, this interview on CBS this morning, says Jones created the persona while teaching herself AI just 4 months ago.
Wow.
By the way, the 31-year-old Mississippi native admits she is not the singer, but says the lyrics are 100% me. They come from poems that she based on real-life experience. Billboard says that Monet is the first known AI artist to earn enough radio airplay to debut on a Billboard radio chart, appearing on at least 5 Billboard charts since her song first got released. So the question is, how do we feel about this? Is this okay? Is a real human writing a poem, essentially, and then using a computer to do all the musical and vocals, which obviously takes away from musicians, human musicians, some of whom may be union members. They ain't getting the work. This is all going through a computer program. And is this okay? And should they be eligible for Grammys? Should they be on the Billboard Awards? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Kurt, listening in Madison on WMDX. Kurt, thanks for holding. What say you?
Well, I'm not going to speak to the Grammy portion of it, and I'm so glad I was born in the 60s, and also am a mediocre drummer.
Welcome to the club. Go ahead. I was born in 69, so I just made it into the 60s. Go ahead.
I was born in 60s, so but sometimes I wish I was born in 50s now the way our country's going. But anyway, I think what's the focus point needs to be, and as an engineer, when we take advantage of technologies to make better and better and better machines, am I not guilty of inevitably putting somebody out of a job? Because I used to work for a company that built what they call robotic cells.
Sure.
But I think from the musician's point of view, and I get the trepidations they have, and they feel like their livelihood is going to get ripped away from them. But I think more important is that we, properly classify what this music is. I think people will, in the end, it's one thing to turn on the radio and listen to a song. It's another to go to a concert and see someone physically play and sing. It's
Agreed.
There's no comparison.
I could not agree with you more, Kurt. I've told this, the short version, I'll tell again. One of the most powerful experiences I've ever had musically was across the street from where I'm sitting right now, the Overture Center, many years ago. And Tony Bennett came to Madison. And I bought a ticket last minute. It was one of those that was supposed to go to the company, and they returned it. I sat 8th row orchestra, dead center.
Nice.
And it was Tony Bennett, a drummer, a pianist, and a string bass. And at one point, he said, guys, take 5. And Tony Bennett came down stage and stood center stage and sang 3 of his hits a cappella. And it was like you were listening to a record. It was so pure and him. And that is just freaking talent, man.
Yeah, I got to see him as well.
Amazing artist, wasn't he?
He was fantastic.
Yeah. Kurt, thanks for your listenership. Thanks for your comments as always. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Just to pick up on what Casper here at Civic had said earlier, a little bit to Kurt's point there, he had suggested that AI, like one of our listeners did as well, that the AI created music could be in a special awards category. And one of our listeners said, identify it as AI, in printing it'd be a watermark or whatever. I don't know how you do that. And so Casper says, I agree with Matt, as long as people are aware that it's AI, I don't have a problem with it. And then our own Terry Barr, co-host of Max Inc. Radio on Saturday nights here at MDX, says, I agree with Chris and Matt. This is really a great discussion. Appreciate it, Terry. Appreciate everybody else weighing in as well. 855-752-4842. Let's go to Rick in Waukesha, listening on WAUK. Rick, thanks for calling in. What say you?
Hey, I'm an old drummer, and I'm thinking, this could be revolutionary, that the drummers will unite and will have huge percussion groups.
Right? I think that's so. You're a former drummer as well, Rick?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I got to borrow. Did you ever hear of a group called The Ventures?
Of course.
I got to borrow the drummer's drums at my folks' house when he left town.
Really? How did that happen?
That's very cool.
Did your folks know him?
Well, a business association of my father had a brother that was a small artist in country western, and he knew him. They were out of like the Dakotas.
Sure.
And they were ranchers, and they would bring their instruments in groups and their horses on trailers because they recorded in Chicago.
That's incredible.
And they dropped stuff off along the way. And so my brother's band was practicing at the time in the basement, and my dad talked to him, and he left his full top of the line, everything Ludwig set, double basses, everything, the whole thing. For about a month and a half, I got to practice on it here and there. And then I found out how good I wasn't.
But you had the right equipment, Rick. You can say you had the right equipment, right? Yeah. That's an incredible story.
I started, in the kitchen on the floor with the pots and pans.
Right.
And then graduated to bongos because of I Love Lucy.
Right.
And then I graduated to a snare drum at about 7 years old.
No, I mean,
And I
that's,
just kept adding pieces.
You know what it's like, and I believe our own Phil Nee on WRCL, and Those Were the Days on Saturday night, he's told the story before that the Buddy Holly song, Not Fade Away, was, I believe that most of the quote-unquote drums, that's a cardboard box or a couple different cardboard boxes.
The stuff that music producers used to have to do to create unique sounds is insane, and I love learning about it. It's so cool.
It really is. And again, here we are, maybe intentionally, maybe not. That's all human element stuff, right? I mean, you can't replicate that with an AI, in my opinion.
An AI is not going to think of what the Beatles did and put a snare drum literally in a toilet for one of their songs, and it sounded great.
Right, exactly. If you have feelings on this AI, should AI be allowed to, quote-unquote, create music that competes with human-created music on the charts or otherwise? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Our own Joanne Krulotz checking in at WRCO, WRCE, our great news director there. She says, I actually had a conversation with a Nashville artist about this topic, and yes, it needs to be identified as AI. Thanks, Joanne. Appreciate your listenership. Thanks for checking in on this as well. Off to the text line, John, listening on WISS in Oshkosh, says, all the bumper music for Tom Hartman is AI. Yes, John, if you are just tuning in, we talked about that earlier. And look, I'm not here to beat up on anybody else. I'm just pointing out a fact that, yes, his wife, Hartman's wife, writes the words, but all that bumper music, the vocals, the music, the instrumentation, I should say, that's all AI. And I just kind of find it a little bit ironic, if not slightly hypocritical, for someone who talks about, pro-union and pro-worker and all that, and he's kind of like, taking jobs away from humans. I just think that's a little ironic. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Brett in Brown Deer on WAUK says, as an artist, the computer can paint perfectly, but it can never do what I do. Well said. Appreciate that. Brett in Brown Deer. Gordy, our friend Gordy Kopke of Kopke's Greenhouse down there in the town of Dunn, great sponsor of Civic Media. Get down there, and I'm not sure they might be done for the fall for now, but I think they do maybe some Christmas stuff as well. Gordy will have to call in and keep me straight on that. But Gordy Kopke says...
That'll be difficult.
Well said, Zombers. Well done. Gordy says, I don't want to speak out of turn about Tom Hartman, but if a musician called and asked to record a song for his commercial release, he seems the kind of guy that would grant permission. Years ago, before WMDX, there was a station in Madison called The Mic, and Tom Hartman produced a commercial for us with no charge for voice talent, unlike others who wanted to charge for such services. Well, there you go. See?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, there are... Again, we're not trying to rag on him all day or anything.
I'm just pointing out
this
that
out.
that's an example of this issue.
Right.
And obviously people have a lot of strong feelings. And I'm not here to necessarily tell you what the right answer or wrong answer is. I have my preferences. Most people, you figured out. I have a problem with it because I don't like change. I don't like computers. As I say, I'm an analog guy living in a digital world. But I also respect what you're saying, Zommers, and others is the genie's out of the bottle, and we're not going to stop AI at this point. So we have to learn how to live with it.
And I'll tell you what, whether or not there's a separate category in the Grammys, this is a hell of a resume for her to become a songwriter.
Oh, yeah. And that was the point that Vladimir Duthier, one of the anchors of CBS This Morning, he's a guitarist himself, and that was exactly his point, Zommers. He said, I would prefer that she get a job as a lyricist in Hollywood or Nashville, because that's like, you can really write some great songs for other artists. And he got some pushback from his colleagues there at CBS Mornings. Come on back. We'll do a quick round of what's worse, a little breaking news in the airline industry as well. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
didn't want to play more Christmas music, so I did When Doves Cry by Prince using the same drum machine.
From 4 to 6 p.m.
At Burlow Mattress, Black Friday is going on all month long.
Which that drum machine, the Lindrum, originally was built by Roger Lind in his garage.
Oh, that's right.
So, you know,
what
different
song
stuff.
were we talking about earlier? I thought we should come back with.
Thousands of dollars in savings to you all
I don't
month
know.
long.
What other songs
Plus,
were we
your
talking
Burlow
about?
mattress is backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee.
God
You
dang
won't
it.
find a
I don't-
better
I
Black
don't know.
Friday deal or a higher quality mattress anywhere
Also,
else.
Liz and
for
Sun Prairie.
a lot
Yep.
less. American-made, locally crafted. Burlow.
Yeah, I
Hey, Gordy, I gotta admit, these hearing aids from Madison Hearing Aid Center changed my life.
Mine too, John. I thought I needed subtitles to talk to my grandkids.
These aren't those old giant clunkers we saw in the old days. It's got
We have a
Bluetooth,
colleague I
it's
won't name
rechargeable,
right now.
works.
Says
my
I
phone
can't
connects
describe how
straight to
much
my
I
ears. I'm
enjoy
basically
your
a
apartment.
cyborg.
Man, you just figured out texting.
I can't wait to hear who it is later, but I have an idea.
But I did call Madison Hearing Aid Center, and you should too. 608-249-4077.
608-249-4077. Tell them John and Gordy sent you.
Hey, honey, how was your day?
Yours?
Pretty good. Guess what? The boss asked me to find a place for the holiday party this year.
Oh, I know a place that'd be just
Yes, right here. We think so alike.
No,
we can
wait,
put some
wait.
text.
No, not
what?
our house. Sugar River Pizza.
Oh,
you already
well,
told them they could be here, didn't you?
Yeah,
I'm
well-
sure you thought catering from Sugar River would be just fine.
sure.
Yeah, but you've seen that huge room in the back of the Sugar River Pizza at their Sun Prairie location.
Yes.
It's ideal for a holiday party.
Well, yeah.
Fabulous pizza, that pulled pork you love, pasta, soup, sandwiches.
Yeah.
Anyone can get exactly what they want.
And it's better than your meatloaf. Well,
Wait,
let me
wait,
call
what-
them.
what'd you just say?
You
said you liked
no, a Sugar River Pizza in Sun Prairie. That is a great idea. You're brilliant. Thanks, hon.
Plan your next office or holiday party with Sugar River Pizza in Sun Prairie. Get to sugarriverpizza.com/catering to book today.
What exactly is wrong with my meatloaf?
I like it.
Does it not fade away by Buddy Holly?
That's it. Thank you. That's it. Yeah. Listen to the drums.
This is Chad Spade. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by the hatred and misinformation that consumes our
That-
world, but I also know that we cannot build a
You
house
know
of
what?
justice and
Yeah,
inclusion on
you
a
can
foundation
kind of
of
hear it,
hatred
but
and
that's not a
lies.
bad
We
thing.
have to
No,
practice
but
what
it's
we
just
preach.
Just the
yeah.
ingenuity of
Confront
human
injustice
music
the same way we
producers,
confront a poorly
especially when it
built
was
home
all
with
analog.
love, compassion,
I
intelligence, and
love hearing those
persistence.
stories,
We
or
engage
like
our
how
community
I
the
think-
way we engage
I-
our clients
Phil could
with
tell it, but I
honesty and
think
humility and the dogged
either
determination
the
that we
the
can do
set, the
better.
drum set
Chad's design
was
built
on a different truck, or something happened. Like everybody was there, but they didn't have a set. And I don't know, Buddy Holly or the producer just said, "Let's try it with cardboard boxes."
Or like, I don't remember which David Bowie song, but they only had a 4-track recorder, and they're like, well, we want different amounts of reverb on his voice on different parts of the song. So they just put a long haul, had one mic close to him, one in the middle, one really far away.
Wow.
And so he only had to do one performance, and it picked them all up.
That's crazy.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna be. Are you gonna give your love to me?
Listen to this. The drums are cardboard boxes.
You know my love will not fade away. Oh, well, you know my love will not fade away.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 8 minutes now, coming up on 7 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock. At the top of the hour, ABC, CBS News, checking weather. Our great sports reporter, Mike Clemens, in with a sports report, and then another great edition of the Maggie Dawn Show from 4 until 6, followed by a great edition of Nightlife with Pete Schwab. We're talking about AI earlier, and thank you, Zombers, for helping an old man remember. And our colleague Phil in the WRCO years ago on Those Were the Days told this story, and he could tell it accurately. I can't remember in the recording studio if the drum set hadn't arrived or what happened. Anyway, everybody was there. And I'm not sure whether it was Buddy Holly's idea or the producers, but they said, well, let's do a take with cardboard boxes.
And guess what? It sounds great.
And that is what made it into the release. One of Buddy Holly's most famous songs.
And stuff
Not
like
fade away,
that
not fade away.
is why, even with the rise of AI, I think there will always be the primary place in music for people.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Breaking news for you at this hour. According to the Associated Press, the Federal Aviation Administration has announced this afternoon that it will reduce air traffic by 10% across 40, quote, high volume, unquote, markets beginning Friday morning to maintain safety during the ongoing government shutdown. The agency is confronting staffing shortages caused by air traffic controllers who are working unpaid, with some calling out of work during the shutdown, resulting in delays across the country. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford said the agency is not going to wait for a problem to act, saying the shutdown is causing staffing pressure and, quote, we can't ignore it, unquote. Bedford and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said they will meet later today with airline leaders to figure out how to safely implement the reduction. Certainly a developing story, this according to the Associated Press, but the FAA saying they're going to reduce air traffic by 10% across 40, what they say, high volume markets during the government shutdown. Of course, now in the longest federal government shutdown in our nation's history. It comes off the heels yesterday of the tragedy in Nashville where a UPS plane crashed during takeoff, essentially, and does not appear that had to do with air traffic controllers at this point, but still very, very early. But certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to those families. I know we have some of our great UPS drivers that listen to this show, and this is going to, ripple down, you would think, for a little while, because this plane was bound with a big load of packages, whatnot, to Hawaii, I believe. So certainly a great tragedy there. But this has this news now this afternoon. Look, if this thing doesn't get solved, it's going to affect Thanksgiving traffic. So certainly not good news there either. Also want to make sure we get one more mention of this, because this is really important to people all across the state of Wisconsin. If you have a kid in a high school athletic team, listen up, or you know somebody, pass this along. This according to WKBT television in La Crosse, Channel 8, the CBS affiliate, saying the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association, better known as the WIAA, is warning schools and student athletes about a fake Instagram account that is pretending to be the organization and trying to get personal information and payments. A fake account that goes by the name @WIAA WI Sports. Let me say this again. This is the fake account that you and your kids should be aware of on Instagram. @ WIAA WI Sports. It's been contacting Wisconsin schools, photographers, and student athletes while sharing fake live stream and ticket links, according to the WIAA Facebook post. Zombers?
I am not a lawyer, nor am I a financial advisor, but I have been informed by both of those types of people that anytime you are asked to provide like personal information, your address, your credit card number, any of that kind of stuff, use the official channels that you know to be from that site, whether it's calling the number on the back of your credit card or, finding the WIAA's actual website. Don't just give it when people ask for it. Reach back out to them using the correct number.
Yeah, always good advice for all of us that we've seen these kind of scams target particularly our seniors, things like this. But this one, disturbingly, is targeted at our Wisconsin high school student athletes. Again, the WIAA warning school student athletes and parents about a fake Instagram account that's trying to get the kids' personal information and trying to get payments. Again, the fake account is at WIAA WI Sports on Instagram. WIAA does have legit accounts on Instagram. One of them is at WIAA WI. Also has accounts on X, better known as Twitter, and the Facebook account is simply Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association. But yes, to Zomber's points, WIAA is never going to ask a kid for a payment through a social platform, and certainly don't give out your personal information, address, phone number, things like that on a social media account like that. So just terrible stuff, but this is, again, digital, the world we live in. You have to be aware of that. We'll hold off on what's worse for tomorrow. We'll come back with another edition of that on a Thursday, and also talk about the University of Wisconsin system. More information is coming to light about the long-term plans of the University of Wisconsin system and the implications it could have on everyone across the state. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Many thanks to Pat Kreitlow on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, Trygve Olson, Senior Advisor, Lincoln Project, and State Senator Keller Royce, and Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. All of you for listening. We appreciate you so very much. Great show today. Appreciate you. Todd saying, whatever you're believing, whatever you're fighting for, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you mañana.
Adios.